Every single time I stream, I get an absolute ocean of people asking me.
Hey, howdy, what's your favorite level?
Check the FAQ, bruh.
Oh, okay. Hey, howdy, what's your second favorite level?
I don't really know.
Oh, okay. Howdy, what's your third favorite?
If you are or have ever been one of these people, this list is for you. I hope you enjoy. Just a disclaimer for those of you who might not be able to read super well. This is a favorite levels list, not a best levels list. People who make crazy levels like Serpunge or Zender Game, these crazy effect levels and boss fight levels, they look amazing. But I haven't played them, so I don't know how actually fun they are. This is a list of my favorite levels, the ones that I enjoy playing the most. That being said, let's get started. So my number 10 pick is going to be Water Droplets by Goose. So when it comes to colors, in my opinion, there are very few who rival Goose. Look at this first cube, dude. It's beautiful. Goose just has such a wonderful understanding of what colors go well together and what looks good. Things can get a little more bland and monochromatic later in the level, but I think for the most part, this one looks fantastic. This is a bit of an oldie. It's like a mid-late 2.0 level. Enough about decoration for right now, though. The gameplay is pretty fantastic, actually. I like it a lot. There are certain orbs that you can't buffer or else you won't be like properly set up for the next jump, so you gotta kind of time things a little bit. Keep in mind this is not a demon, just an 8-star. This is not the kind of level you can sight read. There is quite a lot of moving gameplay later on, which I'm not a huge fan of, but as far as moving gameplay goes, I think it's executed pretty darn well. And when the song slows down, the decoration gets a little darker, the gameplay gets a little slower. I feel like everything is just built around each other, and it just works well together. And though there are moving objects in this part of the level, it's slow enough to where you can still kind of sight read it as long as you're paying enough attention, and the gameplay is fairly enjoyable. At least for me, obviously. Gameplay is subjective to a degree, at least. And sight readability isn't like a necessity, but it definitely helps, in my opinion at least. Unfortunately, around the drop of this level is where I feel it gets a little bit worse. And while this gameplay isn't like harmful or anything, it is a little bit bland. Not to mention a wave to ship transition, which everybody knows that I hate. But overall, this is a pretty fantastic level. Decoration, song, gameplay, it's all really good and they work well with each other, which is why this has deserved a spot on the list. It is safe to say that Nazgub is one of my favorite creators. And in terms of art and effects, I think Fiji is his magnum opus. This level is just so pleasant to look at, to play. This is the easiest level on the list by a long shot, being only 4 stars. The song stays true to its name and is very funky and groovy. I like it a lot. It really matches the vibe I think he was going for with his art and effects. I believe this level is also the longest one on our list today, by just a few seconds, I believe. I don't know if it's quite XL, but it doesn't feel very long. I'm just along for the ride. Every effect is just so beautiful and interesting and fun to watch. This level possesses some of the most unique and interesting effects in the game, I believe. Specifically during this robot part you're watching now, the stripy, ribbony block design, how it's kind of like wrapping around itself and moving with the level. I think that's so cool. This is also a bit of an old level, probably being around 5 years ago now. Fairly early 2.1, I believe. But you couldn't tell by how it looks. It has aged so well. It looks phenomenal. This is another example of a level and its decoration matching the song perfectly. I love that so much. When it feels like you're playing the song if it was a level. That is so cool, but it's kind of hard to explain. I feel like if I turned this song into an art and effect level in GD and was playing it, this would be it. It all works so well. On top of that, Nazgub is a very versatile creator. I think his gameplay is very fun and interesting. His art and effects are, of course, fantastic. I often get pretty bored with levels of this difficulty just because there's not much to really challenge me. And that may sound annoying, forgive me. But this level is just so much fun. I do not mind one bit how easy it is. Another area where I'd like to give this level, as well as Nazgub, some praise is in its optimization. I've had quite the history of potato devices, and on most of these devices I could run this level really well without dropping any frames really or getting out of sync with the song. The effects are very clean and polished, but also simple enough not to lag any devices, which I really appreciate. From start to finish, I enjoy this level so much. Also, the last part kind of returns to the deco of the first part. Kind of a cool little callback. I like it a lot. Also, this end screen is really nice. But yeah, I think for all those reasons, Fiji takes its rightful place at least number 9 on this list. At number 8, we have Psychosis by Heinz. If this was a best levels list, this would definitely be higher up there. This level is just so solid. I'm not like a huge acid notation guy, but I think it works well with the level, and the level works well with the song. A small gripe I have with this level that keeps it from being higher on the list is that it's almost too consistent. There's not really a choke point, and that makes it really frustrating. Every part is pretty equal in difficulty. So this is 100% a flaw of mine and not of the level, I want to make that clear. But like when I die anywhere in the level, I cannot get mad because it's too balanced. I can't blame some dumb click or some dumb choke point. It's all very balanced, and if there was a harder part than the rest, I would say maybe the first cube and the first ball, which is my least favorite kind of bouncing. But as far as bouncing goes, it is a very, very good level. The deco for being 2.0 is fantastic. I mean, it's Heinz, of course it's fantastic. He usually prioritizes like block design and color over like crazy effects and custom backgrounds and all that. And I really, really like that kind of level. The gameplay flows really well, as Heinz gameplay always does. The level does sync with the song, but not like tremendously so. It's not like a sync level. But you can definitely tell through most of the level I am clicking to the music in some way or another, and I do really appreciate that, even if it doesn't sync perfectly with whatever melody's going on. Much like the song, the gameplay remains pretty darn intense and pretty like high stress for like the entire duration of the level. There's a lot of speed and portal changes. Now, I haven't played a lot of the harder Heinz levels, but I feel like as far as most of his levels go, this is his best. Just such a good, consistent difficulty. The deco and block design are fantastic. It goes with the song perfectly. Such a solid level. As expected from Heinz, undoubtedly one of the best creators in the game. Now, coming in at number 7 is Acceleration by Tamon. This is his follow-up and sequel to the very popular Easy Demon known as Motion by Tamon. And I think it does what any good sequel should do, and that's take the good things and make them better, and also reduce the effects of some of the bad things. Motion, while a good level, I felt was kind of defined by its choke points, and was even a little buggy at times. This has some of the smoothest gameplay I've ever played. The gameplay is simple, and it flows nicely, works well with the song. I think Tamon is one of the best examples of flow gameplay creators. The gameplay is just so smooth and concise and feels great to play. As for the decoration in this level, it's pretty minimalistic actually, nothing too crazy, but it does look really nice and is well optimized, not too many objects. Not to mention the song is also really good and goes well with the decoration and the gameplay. I think it's definitely one of Locken's best. You know, I enjoy playing this level so much so that a while back I made a video beating this level in 1.4 speed, which didn't make this like an extreme demon or anything, but it was a fun challenge. It is also worth mentioning that for the most part, this level has completely sight-readable gameplay. It is totally plausible for you to pick up this level and play it and beat it on your first try. Of course, sight reading doesn't come easy to a lot of people, but if you're a star grinder or something, this should be no problem. But yeah, the relative lack of moving gameplay and appearing gameplay definitely gives this level some brownie points with the old howdy. Also, really quick, this level doesn't have very many like custom backgrounds or any like effects in the background, but when they are present, they usually look very nice. Anyway, great level by a great creator. If you have not checked it out, please do, because I think it deserves just as much, if not more, attention and praise than Motion. I've talked a lot before about how much I love Heinz gameplay, so it shouldn't come as a surprise to many of you that he appears multiple times on this list. A lot of Heinz levels usually float around the Insane Demon difficulty, which makes them a little out of reach for the majority of the player base. But Dance Massacre is a little closer to medium or hard demon, so I think in terms of accessibility it's one of his best. Now, I hate to be that guy, but I do have a gripe or two with this ball part at the drop. There are a few of those shut-up clicks where, you know, you gotta weave your ball in between those two spikes and stuff. They're not too bad, because it's still like a medium to hard demon, but in similar Heinz fashion, this level has very good balancing, much like Psychosis. I think the pre-drop is actually very easy and fun to play, and it doesn't make the level too frustrating when playing from zero. Dance Massacre uses a song from one of my favorite artists in GD, Madhouse Dude. His songs always have such cool hooks and energy, I just really like them a lot, and I think Dance Massacre does a great job of capturing that with its gameplay and its deco. In terms of deco, it's still Heinz, so it's still good, but I think as far as Heinz deco goes, this has not aged tremendously well. But I think the decoration is still good and definitely gets a pass. The gameplay is so fun, especially the slope gameplay cube around 30. Now, slope gameplay can be really buggy, but Heinz does a very good job of keeping it consistent. But yeah, if you're a little intimidated by Heinz levels and would like to try one of the easier ones, I cannot recommend this enough. It is so much fun. Obviously, the gameplay won't be for everybody, but I enjoy this very much. A classic, and very deserving of the spot on the list. Now, some of you guys might be pretty surprised to see this on the list, as it is a much more controversial level than my previous picks. But gosh dang it, I cannot help it. I love this level so much. It has so much goofy charm. It is such a 1.9 classic. It is very nostalgic for me. The song, it's Waterflame, so it's good. Almost everybody in the community loves Waterflame, and if you don't love him, chances are you at least respect him. Considering how much influence Darnok's decoration style had on the game in 1.9, Decode's deco is actually pretty unique and has some interesting block design and structuring to set it apart from the rest of the levels at the time. The gameplay is so fun. I will never not enjoy the gameplay. It is so fast-paced and chaotic and ridiculous without being too hard. I've heard a lot of people say that this is one of the hardest easy demons in the game, and some say it should even be medium or hard demon. I never really struggled with this level too much. It always just kind of made sense to me, and I always just enjoyed it and didn't struggle with any one part. But as it stands, in my opinion, I believe this level is one of the most iconic and influential demons in Geometry Dash, period. Not just 1.9, not just easy demons, just demons, period. I love this level so much. It has so much charm, and I will never not love it. At number 4, we have the shortest level on our list today, clocking in at just over 50 seconds. This is Rupture by Gekko. In my opinion at least, this level takes Darnok's decoration style and masters it. It looks so phenomenal. It's not the most detailed or impressive deco, but I think it makes up for that with its structuring and colors. This level really wastes no time and just throws you straight into the action. The gameplay is intense all the way through. The balancing is not ideal. I always struggled playing from zero because of a few specific clicks in the pre-drop, but once you get to the drop, everything just flows so nicely and it's such high energy, intense gameplay. It's a lot of fun. Once again, this is a Water Flame song, so you know I enjoy that aspect of the level. And man, this gameplay is just so satisfying to play. The ship parts are so tight, but at the same time, they're not as hard as they look. So it gives you the sense of like unrivaled satisfaction when you beat a ship part. It feels so good. When I think of 1.9 demons, this is usually the first one that comes to mind. I love this level so much. Everything is done so right, and I had a blast playing it. Your eyes are not deceiving you, appearing for the third time on this list, Heinz's level Diffuse. This was my hardest demon before Rupture, and I had a bit of a rocky journey with it. This level delivers such fun and satisfying gameplay while also having really good deco that doesn't need any crazy effects to make it look good. Just structuring and colors and block design, and that's all I really need. Now, I don't know if this is Heinz's best demon, but it is my favorite. The balancing, much like the other two Heinz demons on this list, is good, don't get me wrong, but it is more frustrating. The first 50% is actually pretty equal and consistent in difficulty, which I really appreciate. I especially like the slow, mostly sync-based cube around 40 to 50%. When it comes to consistency, this level is definitely not bad. The balance is decent, but there are definitely some choke points. There is one darn click at like 60%, 61%. For whatever reason, that jump gave me so much trouble. I just could not get consistent at it. That was by far the hardest click of the level, at least for me. Not to mention the very, very last corridor of the last ship part is also one of the harder parts. Luckily, I did not die there. And real quick, the song is actually really, really good. It has such nice techno vibes. I just really, really like it. It was by an artist I didn't know until I played this level, named Coca-Cola, I think it was. This level's a pretty average length, but it did not feel average. The level feels pretty long, but kind of in a good way because you want it to keep going because the gameplay is just so darn fun. I believe this was Heinz's first 2.1 level, and he did not disappoint. I feel comfortable calling this level a masterpiece. Very deserving of a top 3 spot on the list. At number 2, we have the hardest level on the list, and the only extreme demon. This is Prismatic Haze by Surtrax and Gizbro. My top 2 choices for the list are actually very interchangeable. It really just depends on how I'm feeling that day. Now, I haven't played that many extreme demons, but from the ones I have played, I did not enjoy them. When you push gameplay to be that hard, chances are it won't be fun. But Gizbro found a way. This is one of the only fun extreme demons I have ever played. Not to mention, the gameplay is sync-based, which I go crazy for when it's done right. And in my opinion, no one has come closer to the perfect sync gameplay than Gizbro. I didn't think it would be possible to have this much fun with a level of this difficulty at my skill range. Now, I mainly like this level because of Gizbro's gameplay, but don't let that overshadow Surtrax's decoration. It looks phenomenal. It shares some qualities with Heinz's decoration, which you know that I love, prioritizing colors and block design and structuring to capture the eye, but it also uses the good parts of like common glow deco mixed with some background effects to really bring it to life. This level is fantastic. If you're looking for an entry-level extreme that's fun and exciting, high CPS, high intensity, sync-based gameplay, look no further. This is a fantastic level. I cannot recommend it more. The most shocked I've ever been in GD was probably the day I played Biden Circles and learned that it was actually good. I mean, what can I say, dude? The song is an absolute bop, the decoration is pretty solid, and the gameplay is fantastic. It is so much fun. I will not lie, I let the memer within me win when I put this at number 1. And whoever freaking remixed this song did a fantastic job. It sounds so good. Oh man, the balancing in this level sucks. Everyone knows that. But I think it was meant to suck. The wave at the drop and then the wave at the end are easily the extreme demon difficulty, and the rest of the level's like a freaking medium demon. It makes for a very awkward experience, but this level is so much fun. I can't help but love it. It's also worth mentioning that this is the only unrated level on the entire list. This has no creator points whatsoever. I think it honestly deserves at least a rate. Going for a new hardest can be a little bit daunting at times, but when the level is an absolute joke, there's no stress about it. It's just fun and hilarious. This level is certainly not for everybody, but if you're good at Wave and you enjoy a good Joe Biden meme or two, please give it a try. I had such a fun time with it, and I hope you do too. Alright, there we have it. Those are my 10 favorite levels in the game. And if you're wondering why I chose ICDX to be playing in the background here, it's because it's probably my number 11 pick, I guess the honorable mention. Yes, keep in mind this list is not based on quality. If so, ICDX would be probably in the top 10 worst. Dude, I could probably dedicate an entire video to ICDX. I have such mixed feelings about it, but I still like it a lot. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this kind of video, and if you'd like me to do more, just say the word. I could totally make that happen, and maybe throw out some ideas of other countdown lists I can do in the near future. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Have a great day, and goodbye forever.